Hey everyone, it's me Alex and welcome to a brand new video. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create assignments in your Canvas course. So this video is part of a series I'm doing on my channel called Getting Started with Canvas. So if you haven't seen the other videos, make sure to check them out. I've pasted a link on the top right of your screen for the playlist. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to do each assignments type. So you can do a text entry, a file submission like a PDF, Word doc, student annotation, and website URL. So there are many submission types students can do here on Canvas. But before we get started, hi to anyone new here, my name is Alex Torres. I do helpful technology videos, so make sure that subscribe button is trying to help my channel grow. Thank you. So let's get started with the video. So if you watched my other video and you did not set assignments as your main homepage, you would have to click on the assignments tab on the left, or if you did set it as your homepage, you will automatically be on there every time you open your Canvas course. So there are some assignments I made here just for demonstration. I won't be using these. I'm going to be doing brand new ones. So I'm going to go ahead and unpublish this one just to show you. So the first thing you'll want to do is actually, I'm going to go ahead and show you everything from, let's say you want to have assessments worth like 70% of the grade, homework classwork 25% of the grade, and attendance 5%. So the first thing I'm going to show you are how to create groups here on Canvas. So for example, this is homework classwork. I'm going to go ahead and delete this one just to show you how to do everything step by step. And I'm going to go ahead and delete this category as well. So because the default when you make your course is just assignments that Canvas gives you. So the first thing you want to do is click on the group. So plus group. It's going to ask you a group name. So what do you want to name your group? So let's just say this is assessments. So there we go. Let's say this is assessments. We're going to click on save. There we go. It's now saved successfully. And let's just say we do another one called homework classwork. And then we're going to go ahead and save on that, save it. And let's just say we do one more called participation. So participation, we're going to click on save. And of course you can keep on creating more, but I'm going to go ahead and just set those. And then if you don't want to use, like, let's say assessments is worth 70% of your grade, homework classwork worth 25% of your grade, then you can just keep it like this and we'll move on to the creating assignments. But there is another cool feature here on Canvas is you can have, let's say, assessments worth 70% of your grade. So, but we need to turn that on manually. So once you're on here, we're going to click on the three dots next to plus assignment, and we're going to click on assignment groups weight. And we want to make sure this is turned on. As you can see, it says weight final grade based on assignment groups. So we're going to go ahead and turn that on. And as you can see, now it's going to go ahead and show you how much percent you want to give for each category. So I'm going to leave assignments as 0. I'm going to do assessments worth at 70. Let's do homework classwork 25. And let's set participation 5. Of course, this would all go with your course. It has to equal 100, or if you want, sometimes instructors go over. You could go over 100, and then we can set participation worth 10%, and now it's 105% of your grade. But again, I'm going to keep this equal to 100. And of course, you do not need to follow this. Of course, you can create your own categories and your own percentages. So once you're done, we're going to click on save. And now it's telling you assessments are worth 70% of the total, homework classwork 25, and participation 5. So to create assignments now, we can go on plus assignment. And now it's asking for the assignment name. So here, this is where you would put, let's say, assignment number 1. Introduce yourself. Oops. And then in this box would be the description of the assignment. So what are you telling students to do? So let's say in this assignment, please write a few sentences. Include the following. And then we can go ahead and, of course, these are tools. You can make this bigger. You can make it smaller, which is the default is 12. We can bold it, add italics like this, underline it, change the color. Let's say this, we want this in red, or highlight. Let's say we want that in red. Well, not red actually, because it'll be red on red, but we can have this in, let's say, a yellow. And then we can add links, media, upload an image, course image you have already in your files, a media, upload media like videos, documents, external tools like Google Apps, YouTube, and align. So we can have it in the middle, right. Oops. Oh, well, it went back. And I'm going to do this one right now, bullet points and how the indent, and a table. You can add a table and equations. So let's say, please include the following. So I'm going to go ahead and actually go back to our default and remove the highlighter. And we're going to go ahead and do a bullet point. You can choose the normal bullet points right here. Or you can choose like a number or a circle, open circle. I'm just going to go ahead and do the default. Let's just say include your name, favorite color, your favorite holiday. Oops. Holiday. Of course, and then we can add like ... and you keep on. And of course, make it to what you're learning. And then here we would do points. So let's say this assignment is worth 5 points because it is an introduction assignment. And then you're going to choose the assignment group. So if you made a group, so for example, if you just kept the default assignments category as Canvas, you do not need to choose one here because you won't have any extra. So then here we would choose assessments, homework, classwork, or participation. So this I'm going to put under participation. Display grades as, so you can have it set as a percentage, complete or incomplete. So this would just give them 100% they did the assignment, or incomplete, a 0 if they did not do the assignment. Points, so this is of course the default. Usually for every grade book, you put 1 out of 5, 5 out of 5. Letter grade, so you could put A+, B, B-, C, F, or whatever. A GPA, so based on your GPA scale you have in your course, your grading scheme, or not graded. So let's say this assignment is not graded. Letter grade and GPA, you can still punch in the number of points. So let's say 5 out of 5, and letter grade would say A+. That's actually a cool one, but I'm going to keep it as points as the default. You could also click this for other assignments. Do not count this assignment towards the final grade. So meaning if you get a 0, it won't affect your grade, or if you get 5 out of 5, it won't affect the student's grade. And then submission type, this is the important one. You have online, on paper, external tool, and Lucid. So online is this what I'm going to do for this assignment. We're going to click on that. Text entry, website URL, media recording, student annotation, or student files. Because I want them to submit this directly here on Canvas and don't use an external link or uploads, I'm just going to click on text entry. So this will just prompt a box for them to submit assignments. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to submit this, or how we'll look for students. And then I'm going to create another assignment with the following just to show you. Allowed attempts. So let's say they have a limited attempts. You can submit 500 times if they want, or you can limit the number of submissions to just 1. I'm going to go ahead and limit to 1, or you can do 2, you can do 5 submissions, and etc. I'm going to do 1. Of course, you could always keep this on unlimited as well. This is a group assignment. If you do a group assignment, you need to use groups under people right here, or allow students to join or create groups. So I'm not going to check that because I do not have groups set up, but you make sure you do allow groups, or allow this page open for students to create groups and create peer reviews if you want students to get feedback from other students. So due date, of course, assigned to everyone is always the default to make sure that everyone gets the assignment. The due date. So of course, this is the important one. When the assignment is due, we can say this is due tomorrow. Let's just say it's due the 31st. So you pick right here. I'm going to say it's due tomorrow, the 8th. And available from, these are important ones as well. Available from is when the assignment unlocks. So you can publish the assignment now, but let's say it does not unlock until later today at 5 p.m. It's going to be published, but students will not be able to do the assignment because it's still locked technically. So I'm going to go ahead and set this actually locked just to show you right now. So let's say this is due at, or unlocks at, it's 11 a.m. right now. So let's just go ahead and say it unlocks at, actually before, while I stop talking. You can use the default these here, or set your actual, let's say it's 11:42, let's say 11:45 a.m. So you can set, of course, your own custom time. And then until, this is the lock date. So you can have assignments lock, let's say the 23rd. But if you do use the late assignment penalty, or let's say the number or points deducted for late assignments, those will be affected once they submit because they'll say late. So I'm going to say this assignment locks directly on the due date, so the 8th at 11:59. So meaning at 12 a.m. the 9th, they won't be able to submit anymore or anything. It's going to be locked. So once you're done setting your settings, actually I'm going to go ahead and change this to show you right now this demonstration. Let's just say 11:43 and save. So once you click save, it is not automatically published to the student. So for example, it says, for you, you see it, of course, because you're the instructor, but it doesn't, as you can see, it says publish. That means students cannot see the assignment. So I'm going to go ahead and click on, actually, let me go ahead and change the available from to 11:44. And again, you could always change the due date and the available from and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and do that. And then make sure, again, once you're done, to hit publish to students. So we're going to go ahead and do, there we go. So now it's available to students. So I'm going to go back to the assignments tab. Now they're just going to see that one assignment. As you can see, it's still locked. So if I click on it, it says not available until 11:44. Oh, actually, it just unlocked. So 11:44. Oh, actually, not yet because it was still loading. So as you can see, this assignment is still locked. So of course, you can publish it, but students cannot complete it. So once they say, okay, it's 11:44, it has like a mini quiz, they cannot take it. So all they can do is just refresh, and now I'll go ahead and unlock now. There we go. So as you can see, it says start assignment. So this is what they see. So in this assignment, please, what I typed. And all they would do, since they're only submitting a text entry box, they can only use this button right here, and it prompts a box for them to submit. So of course here they can do, my name is Alex. They can answer in bullet points, or actually I did write a few sentences. So let's just say my name is Alex. My favorite color is green. Holiday is Christmas. There we go. They would just click submit. So as you can see, text entry does not allow them to submit files and stuff like that. It just prompts a box where they can do bold, the same stuff you can do as the instructor. And then they would do submit assignment. So there we go. And because I only allowed one attempt, as you can see, it doesn't let them submit anymore because they already used their one attempt. The student can still check. They can click on submission details and it'll show them what they submitted. And then they can go down to grades, and that's where they will see their grade once the instructor grades it. Right here. Of course, it's the only assignment, so that's why that's not graded yet. So now let's move on to the next submission type. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Leave Student View. We're going to go ahead and do plus assignment. Let's just say this is assignment number 2. number 2. The next submission type is a website URL. So let's say you're doing an article or something like that. If you want students to submit an article, like a direct link, this is where they can do that. So this could be one of those assignments where it does not count towards the final grade. So let's just say they're working on a project. You want to make sure they're using credible sources and stuff like that. You can have students submit. So for example, please submit a link to your favorite YouTube channel. Let's just make this a demonstration right here. Let's say it's out of 1 point or 0 points. I'll just say this is out of 1 point, but just to show you how this works, that do not count assignments, this assignment toward the final grade, I'm going to make it go into participation, and they're submitting a website URL. I'm going to keep it still on one attempt. And of course, you do not always need to add a due date. So you can keep these blank, and I'm going to go ahead and publish that. So we can click save and publish, and it'll automatically publish to the student. And as you can see, the student's going to see this message on the top that says this assignment does not count towards the final grade. So meaning if they submit it, if they get a 0 or 100, it's not going to change anything for their grade. So let's just say they submit the assignment. I'm going to go ahead and submit my YouTube channel right here. So let's just say www. Like that. We can click on submit. So as you can see, it only allows them to submit a website. Submit their link, click on submit, and then there we go. So they can visit the original page they attached to the link to, and it's going to take them to my channel that I added, or the Wikipedia and stuff like that. It'll take you to that direct link. And I'm going to be showing you how to grade these assignments as the instructor right now, just in little detail, and then I'll make another video, of course, for how to do that more step by step. So that was the website URL. Let's go ahead and click on add assignment, and let's say media recordings. Media recording. And this allows students to submit audio recordings of themselves, a video recording. So let's say they can share their screen. Let's say they're doing a presentation on Earth or stuff like that. They would talk about it. Or I don't think they can share their screen, actually. Sorry about that. But they can have a video. It's like a presentation style. So they can be looking at the camera and saying, oh, about Earth, this, that. It's a video submission or audio submission. Let's just say you want to hear them talk about something, but you don't want to have like their video on there. So again, let's just say this is video on Earth. Let's just say that. And then add your details. You can, or just keep it blank. Let's say this one is out of 50 points. And I'm going to make this part of the assessments category, which if you remember, assessments for me was the highest technically for my course, the highest value points of our course, media recording, and one attempt. Let's just say this is due the 13th, and I'm going to lock it until the 13th. So, it's going to lock right once the 13th passes. So save and publish, and we can go ahead and view as a student. And as you can see, it says media recordings. We can click on start assignment. They can either, let's say they recorded on Zoom or stuff like that. They can upload their media already or record here directly on Canvas. So I'm not going to allow my video right now, but again, as you can see, record media. So the next assignment category you can do, or annotation type is, submission type is student annotation. So to show this one, I actually went ahead and created this demo Google Doc. So student annotation is a good one because it allows them to edit a file. So like this one, but they cannot move anything in the file. So for example, this is the actual Google Doc copy. So we can actually edit, erase stuff. But let's say you teach younger students, you don't want them messing around with the file or they don't know yet, we can do this with Canvas. So once you have your file, we're gonna go ahead and save it. So we're gonna go, if you're using Google Docs, click on File, Download, and we're gonna set this as a PDF document. So it's gonna go ahead and save to your computer like that. And then we're gonna go to the assignment and we're gonna have to click on Upload File and open the file that we just downloaded. So as you can see, YouTube course demo.pdf, assignment file uploaded. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually name that assignment as like that. Just say we copy the same directions. And then we can actually make this, we can highlight this so it matches the yellow. Oops, that's green. There we go, yellow boxes. So let's say this assignment is worth 10 points. I'm gonna set this into the participation category, and I'm gonna actually make this one letter grade. And then as you can see, it's gonna show you which grading scheme to show, like A+, A-, B+, and stuff like that. You can view it, or if you don't like that, we can create a new grading scheme. Because if you don't create one in settings, it'll just use the default Canvas one. So perfect, we already have student annotation, and let's say this one is 1 attempt. And with student annotations, you cannot do group assignments. So for example, if you want to create a group, if you want to make this a group with student annotation, you cannot do that yet because Canvas still doesn't allow that. And then let's just say this assignment is due April 6th and it unlocks, and I'll allow it late until April 10th. So we're gonna go ahead and save it, and we're gonna go ahead and publish. So for you as the instructor, you're gonna be like, where's the assignment? I don't see anything. That's perfectly fine, because if we go into student view, it's not going to show you as the instructor. If we go into student view, there is the assignment we just created. It is going to open it up for them. As you can see, it says student annotation. And as you can see, they cannot erase anything in the Google Doc. If we want to delete something, it doesn't allow them. So this is technically like a screenshot of the file you're doing, but it allows them to highlight, add a box, draw, strike through, like if let's say which word does not match, we can cross it off, or make a comment, like for example, like in this part right here, I learned this. So let's go ahead and delete this one. So for example, let's read the directions on the assignment. It says draw, oh, just not go away. Oops. Go ahead and just use my cursor for now. So they can zoom in. So technically it opens up a file viewer for them. So again, as you can see, they could read the directions. So draw or add text in the boxes below. So draw a happy face. So they would use the drawing tool and just make a happy face. Oops. I'm doing this on my computer, so it's a little tough, but there it is. And then draw type. So then they would have to use the box, the T right here, the text box. And then it says type the past tense of the word eat. So they would go on here and put 8. And that's it. So then if there was other stuff here they needed to do, they would keep on going. But for me, that's it for my assignment. So once they're done, they would click submit assignment. And because we only allow 1 attempt, once they submit this, that they won't be able to do anything anymore. So we're gonna click on submit. There you go, the assignment was successfully submitted. And now there's nothing down here anymore, as you can see, but it says submitted. So if we click on submission details, it would look like they actually submitted a PDF file of the assignment. If we go full screen, there we go, that's what they did. So then when we go into instructor view, we open up the speed grader. You'll be able to look at all the students, but since this is just a demo course, there's only 1 student. So you can see what they did. So perfect, they did draw a happy face. They added the correct past tense, so they can go in here, write a comment if you would like. And then submit comment. You don't have to submit comments. And then, so let's say they got 10 out of 10. And with the letter grade, because I've been talking like maybe you want to know how does that work? The letter grade, it'll actually just show them in letter grade. So for example, A. So right there, we click on submission details. And it shows them they got an A on the assignment, which is perfect. The last one, the most commonly one used on Canvas here is the PDF version. So for example, a PDF or file upload, file uploads is another popular one here on Canvas. So let's just say guide. Let's say you want them to submit a study guide. So please submit your PDF version of your study guide here on Canvas. Let's say this is worth 10 points again, and let's go ahead and put this into homework classwork. And make sure you select file uploads. This is another popular one, restrict file uploads. So for example, you only want them to submit PDFs, because technically if you don't select anything here, they can submit video files, they can submit PNG like pictures and stuff like that. So for example, nope, I only want them to do PDF. You can have PDF. That's the only file you want. It would allow them to submit. Or you can, if you want to add more, as you can see, it says more extensions. You would do comma. Let's say that you want PowerPoint documents. You can do that as well. We can have docs, which is Microsoft Word and stuff like that. But I only want PDF, so I'm not going to allow anything else. And let's say unlimited attempts, just to show you how it works. And let's just say no due date for that one. Save and publish. There we go. So student view. I'll go ahead and submit the course demo one I just downloaded, this Google Doc. So let's go ahead and select start assignment. So if they actually have linked their Dropbox, Google Drive, or Office 365, they would be able to select assignments from there. So for example, if they have PDF files on their Office 365 or on their Google Drive, they can just select those files directly. But since this is just a test student account, I don't have anything physically linked. I'm just gonna go ahead and drag my file. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my YouTube course demo file. And then as you can see, this one's a .pdf, so this one allows it to submit. We can add another file, or just because we allow unlimited attempts, so we can add another file. If not, they just click submit assignment. And there we go. So as you can see, it submitted the assignment for them. They can go on submission details. And then they're not going to be able to see it. If they want to view it, they would click on view feedback. And then there we go. So they can see their file they submitted. And that's pretty much it. Those are all the submission files or submission types here on Canvas. I know I went through each one step by step, but you could also allow multiple submission types. So for example, you could allow a text entry box, a website URL, or a file upload. So for example, if you're making let's go ahead and say like this. Let's say you have just a reflection assignment. You could submit their text entry directly here on Canvas. If they work on a Google Doc, you can do that. Or you can have them download their physical Google Doc or Word document and submit it here on Canvas. Let's just say reflection assignment. Let's say this is assessments. I'll keep letter grade. And we have multiple submission types, which is perfect. And then we're going to go ahead and click save and publish just for this last example. So as you can see, it allows students to submit a text entry box, a website URL, or a file upload. So if we go into student view, they would go in here and it's like, okay, what do I need to do? Or it's like, oh, I can use all the submission types. So we click on start assignment. It's going to tell them, so what are you going to submit? We can do a file upload, text entry, or website URL. So as you can see, it allows all these options that you allowed. So for example, let's say they want to upload their physical document, a PDF I just submitted, a text entry just here directly here on Canvas, or a website URL to like their Google Doc and stuff like that. But if they do Google Docs, you want to make sure they give you access or you won't be able to view it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do text entry, testing 1, 2, 3, submit. And there we go. So the assignment was successfully submitted because we used one of these types that we allowed. We can click on submission details, and there's the assignment. And the last submission, I think that was it for the online tools. Now we have external tools. So this is if your institution has Edpuzzle, Pear Deck, and stuff like that. Those would link here on Canvas. Of course, those do require external linking or licenses. So right here, external tool, you can go ahead and use Google Drive assignments. Actually, you can link a Google Doc assignment here and it'll work. Google Drive assignments, but I do recommend you just submit or upload the link to Google Docs and have them create a copy and submit via right here via file upload, because usually this one right here does look a little weird. So I don't really recommend using this one too much. And of course, there would be other links here, but of course, this is just a demo course. So these are just basic external tools, but sometimes you can see Edpuzzle and stuff like that. And you can choose if you add that to launch in a new tab. And then on paper, this just kind of, they're not going to submit anything here on Canvas. So let's just say this is an exit ticket. They're on paper. You can choose on paper or no submission. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect the grade or anything because it's just going to not allow them to submit anything here on Canvas. So let's just say this is exit ticket and they need to submit this in person. Submit to me and on paper. Let's just say that, and let's just say this is 5 points. And this is, let's say, participation. And that's pretty much it for the assignments. So that's how to create all types of assignments. So again, because this one does say on paper right here, if we go into student view, as you can see, they don't have a submit button. It's just going to tell them like submit on paper. They will just get a grade for it. And that's pretty much it. That's how to create assignments here on Canvas. In my next video, I'm going to be showing you how to grade assignments and how to use the speed grader here on Canvas, which just opens the submissions here for you to grade and view and to add comments for students. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time in my next video. Bye. And please let me know if you have any questions. Bye.